Welcome back to the channel, basketball fans. Start spreading the news because Jayson Tatum is finally expected to make his highly anticipated return to the Boston Celtics lineup tomorrow, and the entire basketball world is watching closely. You have all heard that famous New York song before, right? Before this current basketball season even tipped off, all anyone in the national sports media could talk about was how the New York Knicks were absolutely destined to sit comfortably at the very top of the Eastern Conference. After the unfortunate Achilles injuries sidelined both Jayson Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton, the general consensus among analysts was that it was finally time for New York to end their agonizing 50-plus-year championship drought and claim the throne. But let us take a massive step back and do a quick reality check on that specific preseason storyline. The Boston Celtics are currently sitting proudly at the number 2 spot in the entire Eastern Conference standings. They are a full 1.5 games ahead of the New York Knicks, and the most incredible part of this reality is that they have accomplished all of this while their franchise superstar Jayson Tatum has been out of the active lineup recovering from his severe injury. Meanwhile, New York has not exactly looked like a dominant, unstoppable force capable of easily making it out of the Eastern Conference bracket, much less hoisting the prestigious Larry O'Brien Championship trophy at the end of the year. Sure, they managed to win the NBA Cup tournament during the regular season, but their overall play has left a lot to be desired for a team with such massive preseason hype and monumental expectations. However, the Boston organization learned a very harsh lesson during last year's campaign. They learned the hard way that whatever New York does or fails to do during the regular season stretches does not necessarily matter when the playoff lights turn on and the intensity reaches a boiling point. The Knicks have played some highly uninspiring basketball for long stretches of this current season, but it would be incredibly foolish for anyone in the Boston locker room to simply write them off or underestimate their gritty physical style of play. But as a passionate basketball fan, it is incredibly hard not to sit back and imagine a beautiful poetic scenario where the Celtics absolutely spoil what was universally supposed to be the historic year of the Knicks. Whether that ultimate satisfaction comes from physically beating New York in a grueling 7-game playoff series, or by doing what seemed completely unthinkable just 10 short months ago and adding yet another championship trophy to their legendary display case, the opportunity for epic revenge is sitting right there for the taking. The anticipation is building every single day. If you are enjoying this deep dive into the Celtics revenge tour, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video so you never miss out on any of our daily basketball updates. Moving forward, the Celtics have clearly proven to be the vastly superior team compared to New York so far this season. But as we just mentioned, the true ultimate test will inevitably happen in the intense pressure cooker of the postseason, where legends are made and legacies are defined. Having Jayson Tatum return to the active roster with over a full month left to play in the regular season schedule is a massive advantage for both him and the entire Boston organization. This crucial timeline gives him plenty of necessary runway to fully reacclimate his body back to the lightning-fast speed of the professional game and rebuild his undeniable on-court chemistry with his teammates before the games truly start to matter, and the margin for error becomes zero. Boston can manage to hold on to that coveted number 2 overall seed, and New York remains stuck right below them at the number 3 spot, although we must acknowledge that the dangerous Cleveland Cavaliers are lurking right behind them in the tight standings. There could be another massive, explosive semifinal showdown brewing between these two historic franchises. We all remember exactly what happened last time they met on that stage. The Knicks got the absolute best of the Celtics during last year's playoffs, leaving a bitter taste that has lingered for an entire calendar year. But if anyone around the league had to take a realistic guess, that exact same scenario probably would not happen again this time around, given the current dynamics and the undeniable growth of this Boston squad. Head coach Joe Mazzulla would likely rather disappear off the face of the earth than endure that specific humiliation a second time, and you can guarantee that every single other player on this Boston roster who experienced that soul-crushing defeating feeling last year at the hands of their most hated rival feels the exact same way. New York fans might be currently finding some desperate solace in the fact that their beloved Knicks managed to eliminate the Celtics last season, even when Tatum was playing for the vast majority of that physical series. But that specific coping mechanism might only take them so far this year when they face a completely revitalized and incredibly deep Boston roster. It certainly will not take them far enough to actually win a world title and parade through the canyons of heroes. Not if the Boston Celtics and a fully healthy, highly motivated Jayson Tatum have absolutely anything to say about it. They have been waiting patiently for this exact moment, working tirelessly behind the scenes and focusing on their ultimate goal of achieving sweet revenge and basketball immortality. The entire locker room has had that bitter taste in their mouths for months, and the impending return of their undisputed leader is the exact spark they need to ignite a historic playoff run that will be talked about for generations to come. The national media might have written the Celtics off the moment Tatum went down with his Achilles injury, but the resilient players inside that building never lost their overwhelming confidence or their unwavering belief in each other. They relied on their brilliant coaching, their unselfish ball movement, and a powerful next-man-up mentality that kept them afloat and thriving while other organizations completely crumbled under similar circumstances and pressure. Now they are getting their best player back at the absolute perfect time, setting the stage for an unforgettable climax to the season. Let us talk about the role players who have stepped up tremendously during this critical period. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard have been playing out of their minds, providing incredible stability and offensive firepower when the team needed it the most. The defensive intensity across the board has been unmatched, with players diving for loose balls and making the extra rotation on every single possession. Let us also talk about the incredible atmosphere we can expect when these two titans clash again. Madison Square Garden versus the TD Garden provides the most electric environments in all of professional sports. The history of this rivalry goes back decades, and it is a pure basketball bloodbath every single time they step on the court together. Joe Mazzulla has created a brilliant culture of extreme accountability where he simply does not accept excuses regarding injuries or fatigue. The national media desperately wanted to crown Jalen Brunson and the Knicks early, but they completely forgot about the immense pride and pedigree of Boston. Jayson Tatum has been rehabbing in complete silence, letting his work ethic speak for itself. He has been watching his team fight and claw every single night from the sidelines, and that specific experience builds a completely different kind of hunger inside a superstar. The Achilles injury is historically tough to overcome, but modern medicine has advanced incredibly, and he looks absolutely explosive in all the recent practice videos that have surfaced. The coaching staff has been brilliantly careful not to rush him back prematurely, ensuring he is at peak physical condition for the long, grueling playoff run ahead. That institutional patience is about to pay off in a massive way. When you combine a fully healthy and hungry Jayson Tatum with a seasoned team that has learned exactly how to win tough, close games without him, you create an absolute monster that no one wants to face in a 7-game series. The Knicks might have secured the midseason NBA Cup, but the Celtics want the only real prize that matters. The Larry O'Brien Trophy is the sole measurement of success in Boston, and anything less is considered a massive failure by their historic standards. New York fans are undeniably loud and passionate, but they are also incredibly desperate, having waited since the glory days of Walt Frazier and Willis Reed for a taste of ultimate victory. Boston fans conversely expect greatness because they have witnessed it time and time again throughout their storied history. The contrasting dynamic between these two rabid fan bases adds so much volatile fuel to the fire. Social media is absolutely going to explode when these two teams finally lock horns in the playoffs, and the television ratings will undoubtedly be off the charts. Every single possession will be intensely scrutinized, and the referees will likely let them play a highly physical brand of basketball that favors the toughest team. It will be a glorious throwback to the physical 90-90s style of play, featuring hard fouls, players sacrificing their bodies for loose balls, and pure, unfiltered competitive trash talk. Jayson Tatum is a relatively quiet superstar, but his transcendent game speaks volumes on the court. He is an absolute killer when the game is on the line, capable of scoring efficiently from all 3 levels and defending multiple positions seamlessly. He is the ultimate versatile weapon in modern basketball, and the Knicks simply do not have a single individual player who can truly match up with him one-on-one for an entire series. They will inevitably be forced to send aggressive double teams, which will beautifully open up the floor for the amazing elite shooters that the Boston front office has strategically surrounded him with. It is a mathematical nightmare for any opposing head coach trying to devise a defensive scheme against them. Joe Mazzulla knows exactly how to exploit this. He is a tactical genius when it comes to maximizing offensive spacing and ruthlessly hunting the weakest defender on the opposing team, forcing them to make impossible split-second decisions. This is high-level basketball chess, not simple checkers, and right now the Celtics have the ultimate queen back on the board, ready to dominate the game. The popular narrative of the New York Knicks being the inevitable undisputed champions of the East was a very fun, compelling story for the media to push during the slow, mundane days of the preseason because it gave everyone something fresh to debate. But the actual meaningful games have to be played on the hardwood, not on television debate shows or podcast microphones. The undeniable reality is that the Boston Celtics are simply a much better, more complete basketball team from top to bottom. Their front office has expertly built a sustainable long-term winner. Their coaching staff is elite at making in-game adjustments, their roster is incredibly deep and versatile, and their absolute best player is finally returning to rightfully reclaim his spot among the absolute elite players in the entire world. The highly anticipated revenge tour officially begins tomorrow night. Every single team in the league better take notice and prepare themselves because the sleeping giant has finally been awakened. The Boston Celtics are completely whole again, their chemistry is off the charts, and they are completely ready to remind everyone in the basketball world exactly who truly runs the Eastern Conference.